World Health Organization says there's been a major breakthrough in the fight against the Ebola virus.
The Turkish military has reportedly launched fresh airstrikes in Syria's northern city of al-Bab, that is, killing at least 88 civilians.
In recent weeks, there's been a new influx of refugees. The UN estimates as many as 27,000 Rohingya have crossed into Bangladesh.
A large-scale cyber attack has plunged the UK's health service into chaos. Computers in hospitals and clinics across the country shut down on Friday, forcing patients to be turned away.
The world is changing and changing fast. Technology, education, health, conflict, there is hardly anything in life that is not changing. With devastating world issues such as climate change, energy poverty, child labor, and global education affecting the lives of millions, a solution must be made. The first and most important step to the solution process is educating youth about what is currently happening in the world. Global awareness during the developmental years in a teenager's life results in more rounded individuals, encouraging youth to see things from different perspectives, and resulting in them making better decisions, acquiring transferable skills that will be useful to them and will remain with them for life. The definition of global awareness is an understanding of global and cultural perspectives. Within the classroom, teachers must stick to the guidelines of the curriculum to ensure all topics are covered. So it can be quite difficult for students to travel outside of these guidelines and learn more about the world around them. A program called the Munk School of Global Affairs is an initiative to allow students to become more globally aware and to discover life beyond their school community. The Munk School was founded by Professor Joseph Wong, whose goal was to provide enriching learning opportunities for high school students. Teams ranging from 4 to 6 students tackle a pressing global challenge, a real-world problem that does not have a current solution. U of T researchers present monthly lectures to help students gauge the problem along with the help of current university students who mentor the teams to prepare them for a final day-long symposium where the students present their individual solution. Michael Huff is one of 10 expert lecturers from U of T that students involved with the Munk program were able to gain insight and knowledge from firsthand in a university-style lecture.
And women and girls are forced to go and collect firewood to cook their meals in a UNHCR-sponsored refugee camp and are repeatedly being raped? Can we do better? Can we do better? I think so. I think so. My name is Steve Huff, and I do work with a foundation called the Light Foundation. And one of the things that we focus on is energy poverty. So what is energy poverty? It quite simply is the lack of access to clean, renewable energy. Energy poverty primarily affects healthcare, education, and economic development. And women and girls are affected most of all.
The Munk program believes that the world needs better public policy and better governance. Citizens of all countries deserve greater security, wider opportunity, and the chance to lead healthy and fulfilling lives. The Munk Team program draws together the most creative minds, people whose research can improve the world's collective future. The program's goal is to educate students and to give them a project to express their creativity, knowledge, and problem solving. The program unites people who are passionate to address the problems of a fast-changing world. Innovation for the poor, urban development, and sustainability, security threats, and cyber insecurity are just a few examples of the problems that the students in the Munk program have been exposed to. The Munk program is essentially a platform for students to tackle and deeply investigate global issues. Newport Christian is a grade 11 student here at Pickering College, who is an integral member of the 2017 Munk team. She believes this experience has helped her gain new insights and thoughts about the world.
The Munk team has given me an outlet to think outside of the box because by giving me a really, out there problem to solve, it really encouraged me to come up with an innovative solution that hasn't been done before using the knowledge that I already have. I do think that this approach to tackling global issues should be adapted in classrooms because I feel like the hands-on really getting in there and solving a problem and taking it really seriously helped me to learn a lot about different countries and different approaches that are happening in the world. So I got to learn about them on the way, and I didn't even realize I was learning as I went. So I think it was a really effective way to learn and just to challenge me to think outside the box. I do think this has helped me to learn beyond the textbook style of learning, because in this hands-on way of learning, it was a lot more interesting and engaging for me as opposed to simply learning about different countries. I got to explore on my own and do my own investigating, which I thought was really interesting, and it helped me to learn much more than just what a textbook could tell me. I think in a world where university and real world jobs are becoming so much more global and our world's becoming so much more connected, I think that these skills are really going to help me when I graduate and leave high school, not just for universities and assignments then, but in the real world as everything becomes so much more interconnected. It's important to have cultural awareness.
Nippur's views about the Munk team are alike with most of the Munk team participants, as the program is creative and engaging.
Access to foreign culture, movies, food, clothing, right? I mean, you think about, you wouldn't realize it, but years ago, you wouldn't be able to access movies from different countries or books from different countries, not to the same extent, and food. There's one company I think of that is so globalized. Can you think McDonald's? And how does McDonald's globalize? What do they do?
They're everywhere.
They've got a strategy.
Miss Bartlett has been a teacher at Pickering College for over 10 years and has been the facilitator for the Munk program and encourages students to become global thinkers through her lessons as a history and political science teacher.
I think the Munk team helps students develop into global thinkers because it presents students with complex, wicked problems that don't have a simple solution. And I think that if you're good at the Munk, you need to learn about a lot of different facets and a lot of different disciplines in order to solve a problem. So I think it's a good representation of the real world, because I think that this approach, the Global Ideas Institute, should be adapted into all classrooms. And in fact, I think that's what we've tried to do with the capstone here at Pickering College, is to get students to think about different disciplines, to get them to tackle problems that don't have simple answers, and to have people build resiliency and grit a little bit, because I think that those larger problems, you really have to stick to it in order to solve the problems. It's not something where you can work on it for the weekend and then you hand in your homework and it's all done. It's one of those types of problems where your brain has to keep revisiting it. You need to keep researching it. You need to consider all the angles, and I think that those skills are so important in the real world. I think that this program has really helped a lot of students transition into amazing university programs, I'll say that, in some of the top schools, and just prepared them regardless of what they've decided to go on and do. I've done this program for 7 years now. It's 7 years that it's been in existence, and the track record for the students that have left the Munk program and gone on is quite phenomenal and impressive. And I think that they've all gone to top-rated schools. They've all tackled difficult programs, and they've all been successful to my knowledge. So they often point to that experience of being on the Munk as probably one of the best experiences in their career here at PC. Mm-hmm. And I think that they attribute a lot of their success to being in it.
Miss Bartlett views the program as a place where students can put their creativity, knowledge, and problem solving to the test. She has seen students grow and develop into more rounded and globally conscious individuals. Margaret Montgomery is a student in the Lazaretus Business School at Laurier University. Margaret graduated Pickering College in 2016, and during her time at the school, she was involved in the Munk program. She believes her involvement with the Munk School has expanded her global awareness and helped her transition into the fast-paced environment at university.
So my experience of being a member of the Munk team was really fulfilling. Last year, my team tackled the issue of birth registration and the lack of global birth registration, and we targeted Senegal in particular. So this experience really opened my mind up to like the implications of issues like birth registration in some developing countries, because these kinds of issues can really limit people's human rights, like their access to healthcare and protection from the government and like poverty and stuff like that. So it really opened my eyes to how to tackle these huge systemic issues like in a practical way. So yeah, I definitely think that the Munk team gave me an outlet to think outside of the classroom, because like I was thinking really creatively, and we were actually creating a plan that could potentially be implemented in the real world. So it wasn't so theoretical, and obviously like our thinking wasn't limited to anything, so we could really plan something that could get off the ground and start running in Africa. The research was super interesting, so I really enjoyed it. I definitely think that the Munk team style of learning and planning and thinking helped me transition into university, specifically because for big projects like theoretical projects, like my new venture project we did for our business class, where we had to design a business from the ground up. I know it's not necessarily the same objective, but like it's logical thinking, planning, research into stuff that goes on in the real world, and like creating a plan that could be implemented into the real world. And that type of thinking is definitely useful in university, and it's useful like in real life, even beyond university.
Margaret has been able to use her skills acquired from Munk and is now working in Toronto at a marketing firm using the Munk program's solution-based approach. Globalization affects international business in almost every way possible. It also affects education to great extents. International education is on the rise as the demands of a globalized world bring the need for students to understand broader issues around the world. In this global economy, it is becoming increasingly important for students to learn about the world and to think in a global context. The word globalization can be taken in many different forms. Now, I would like to know what students think this complex word means to them.
Globalization means to me, it's more than just like interconnectedness. I think it means that because we're so interconnected, we have a responsibility to make sure that we help out developing countries and make sure that everyone can contribute to their best ability and can participate in the global economy, because that would just make us more efficient as a whole.
And in general, globalization, I guess it just means being aware of the different countries in the world, keeping an open mind, keeping a global perspective, and knowing that, you know, what we know here in Canada or wherever you're from is just a small segment of what happens in the world. So just globalization in general is keeping an open mind to different barriers or different opportunities that might present around the world.
To me, globalization means the whole world being as one. So maybe things like more immigration, more like goods going around. With the advances in technology, it's a lot easier for our world to be globalized as one, because people can travel a lot faster and information can travel long distances a lot faster than they ever could be. So to me, globalization is being one.
To me, the word globalization means the increasing interconnectivity between people all over the world, be it through economics or any other way.
It seems as if students are aware of what the term globalization is and how it is applied to society. Knowing this, teachers must educate about current world issues, because knowledge is power. Our youth is the foundation of society and the future of a globalized world. Programs like the Munk team are building a type of education that offers more students a path to an enlightened life in this forever changing society.